Hello there. Very happy Diwali to all of you and glad you could join us this evening on Rajya Sabha TV. Let's start the bulletin with the headlines. India celebrates the Festival of Lights. From Kashmir to Kanyakumari, people from all over the country exchange gifts, sweets and greetings on the occasion of Diwali. The President, Vice President and the Prime Minister greet the nation on the auspicious occasion of Diwali. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman celebrate the festival with Indian troops. In a major India policy speech, US Secretary of State Rex Tillerson describes India as a reliable partner at the world stage, terms China as a predatory rule breaker. And in grim news, Taliban carries out fresh attacks in Afghanistan. Suicide blasts at army camp in southern Kandahar province kill scores of soldiers. Yes, the nation is celebrating Diwali today and the national capital is fully decked up for the celebrations. The President, Vice President and Prime Minister extended their greetings on the eve of the Festival of the Lights. In his message, President Ramnath Kovind appealed to the people to initiate efforts towards illuminating the lives of all with joy and prosperity and spreading the light of love and fraternity. He also urged people to take a resolve to celebrate Diwali in a clean and pollution manner, as well as build a healthy, prosperous and sensitive nation and society. Also in his message, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu said, and I quote, "I extend my warm greetings and good wishes to the people of the country on the auspicious occasion of Diwali, the Festival of Lights. Diwali signifies the victory of good over evil and encourages us to emulate the noble and virtuous qualities of Lord Ram, also associated with Goddess Lakshmi, the harbinger of wealth, grace and prosperity. Diwali is celebrated on a grand scale, not only in India, but all over the world by the people of Indian origin. Diwali plays an important role in promoting amity and harmony amongst people, and may this festival light up our lives and usher in peace, prosperity and happiness in our lives," unquote. Also in his message, Prime Minister Narendra Modi greeted the people and said that he will celebrate Diwali with security forces at the Indo-China border. And as the nation is celebrating Diwali, the Festival of Lights, people in large numbers are thronging shops to buy candles, lamps and gifts. A team of volunteers lit 1,87,213 earthen lamps in Ayodhya city on Wednesday evening. Jawans of the Indian Army lit up the border in Poonch sector of Jammu and Kashmir as well. Diwali, which is celebrated with great fervour and gaiety across India, marks the return of Lord Ram, the king of Ayodhya, after his victory over demon king Ravan in Lanka, as well as the culmination of his 14-year-long exile. And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has greeted the Jawans of the Indo-Tibetan Border Police Force in his residence in New Delhi on the occasion of Diwali. The Vice President and his wife Usha Naidu also distributed sweets among the Jawans. And like every year, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is spending Diwali with soldiers, and this time at Gurez in Jammu and Kashmir. Army Chief General Bipin Rawat and other senior officers accompanied the Prime Minister to Gurez. The Prime Minister flew to Srinagar en route to the Gurez sector in Kashmir's Bandipora district on Thursday morning to meet with corps soldiers and officers. This is Modi's second Diwali in Kashmir. He spent his first Diwali as Prime Minister also in Kashmir in Siachen in the aftermath of the devastating floods in the valley. And talking of the border security force personnel exchanged sweets with their Pakistani counterparts to mark the Festival of Lights. BSF personnel and Pakistan Rangers shook hands as they exchanged sweets. The two countries' border forces traditionally exchange sweets at the Atari-Wagah border during their respective major Hindu or Muslim festivals. The annual practice is a confidence-building measure and an attempt to establish peace between the nuclear-armed neighbors.
BSF जो कि फर्स्ट लाइन ऑफ डिफेंस है, डीजी BSF की तरफ से दीपावली के ऊपर पूरे देशवासियों को शुभकामनाएं। और इस ओकेजन पे BSF ने पाक रेंजर्स को स्वीट्स प्रदान की और उनकी तरफ से भी हमें स्वीट्स दी गई।
Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman is in AndamanNicobar for 2 days to celebrate Diwali with the Indian soldiers there. After arriving at Port Blair on Wednesday, Sitharaman visited the headquarters of the Andaman and Nicobar Command and was given a comprehensive brief on the security environment and thrust areas of the command. She also met Lieutenant Governor Admiral D.K. Joshi at Raj Niwas and discussed issues related to safety and security of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. In the evening, she visited the Veer Savarkar cell in the National Memorial Cellular Jail and laid the wreath at Swatantra Jyoti. She also visited Ross Island. In other news, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has asked officers to adopt innovative ways to break silos for speeding up various processes of governance. Interacting with directors and deputy secretaries working in various departments and ministries, the Prime Minister said that silos are a big bottleneck in the functioning of the central government. He also asked them to create teams to achieve better results. The Prime Minister exhorted them to work with full dedication towards creation of a new India by 2022. The Prime Minister interacted with these officials in 4 separate groups on various days this month and discussed several issues including governance, corruption, health, education, Swachh Bharat, culture communication and tourism. The last of these interactions was held yesterday. The Standing Committee of Parliament on External Affairs on Wednesday prominently discussed the Doklam issue. A committee headed by Congress MP Shashi Tharoor had asked the Foreign Secretary S. Jaishankar to give an explanation about the recent standoff with China on Doklam. During the meeting, which went on for almost 1.5 hours, the Foreign Secretary answered the questions of the members of the committee. Considering the sensitivity related to the redeployment of troops by the Chinese side and the road construction in Doklam, Tharoor said that the committee decided to take up this matter. During the meeting, Congress Vice President and committee member Rahul Gandhi questioned Foreign Secretary many times. Apart from China, the role of Bhutan was also discussed at the meeting. Including the chairman, there were 6 MPs present in the committee meeting. The BJP and Congress have announced their first list of candidates for the upcoming assembly elections in Himachal Pradesh on the 9th of November. Former Chief Minister Prem Kumar Dhumal and Himachal Pradesh BJP Chief Satpal Singh Satti are among the party candidates announced by the party. The list of candidates for all the 68 seats were announced. Dhumal, a 2-time Chief Minister, will contest from Sujanpur instead of Hamirpur, which he represents in the outgoing assembly. The BJP has not named its chief ministerial candidate as yet. The party has dropped from the list 4 sitting MLAs though. And in the first list of 59 candidates for the Congress, Chief Minister Veerbhadra Singh has been fielded from Arki constituency in Solan district. Nominees for the remaining 9 seats, including Shimla Rural, would be announced later. Arki in Solan district was won by the BJP in the previous 2 assembly polls. State Congress Chief Sukhvinder Singh Sukhu has been fielded from the Nadaon seat. The Chief Minister's son, Vikramaditya's name did not figure in the first list. The Congress has fielded all its senior state leaders for the election. And here are more updates from across the country in Nationwide. More than 60 hours after the strike began, there is no relief for the 60 lakh passengers who use the Maharashtra State Road Transport Corporation's bus services. Negotiations between State Transport Minister Diwakar Raute and the unions failed on Wednesday night, with unions demanding salary revision based on recommendations of the 7th Pay Commission. A fire broke out at the high-rise Life Insurance Corporation building on the Jawaharlal Nehru Road in Kolkata today. At least 10 fire tenders rushed to the spot. There are no reports of casualties so far. The fire broke out on the 16th floor of the building located in central Kolkata. As per officials, the fire was fast spreading to the other floors of the building. On the occasion of Diwali, India has extended help to Pakistani nationals who were seeking their treatment in India. Sushma Swaraj, Minister of External Affairs, has asked Indian missions at Islamabad to issue medical visas to all deserving Pakistani applicants. Moreover, India has issued 13 medical visas so far this month as goodwill gesture to Pakistani nationals seeking treatment. The death toll in the explosion at an illegal firecracker factory in Odisha's Balasore district rose to 8 on Thursday. 2 more people who were reported critical succumbed to burn injuries. The massive explosion at the illegal firecracker factory at Bahawalpur had claimed the lives of 6 people and left 9 seriously injured on Wednesday. In the aftermath of the explosion, the inspector in charge of Bahawalpur Marine Police Station was suspended for dereliction of duty. With a quick break here, up next we'll get you the international news.
St. Thomas Basilica. One of the world's 3 churches that is built over the Tomb of Apostles. St. Thomas was one of the 12 apostles of Jesus Christ who brought Christianity to India. With an underground tomb where the remains of St. Thomas are laid, this magnificent basilica is of Gothic architecture. The stained glass of the church depicts some divine moments of St. Thomas's life. In 2006, this church was conferred with the status of National Shrine.
Art arisen from a multi-hued cultural canvas. Tradition and cultural fervour dating back centuries. And encircling them all, there's a magic that awes. Embrace your nation's brilliant human warmth. Watch Colours of India, Sundays at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
Ghata, one of the oldest and most unique percussion instruments of southern India. You can play it not only with your fingers, but palms, wrists and heels as well. You'll be surprised, but the air inside the ghatam reverberates, creating the musical notes. 5 elements of nature, earth, water, air, fire and space make up the composition of this beautiful musical piece, which has found an apt place in most of the ancient books.
Welcome back. Let's get you a special report now. And India is facing a twin problem of undernutrition and also overnutrition. Both are swelling the number of cases of non-communicable diseases. India has the 2nd highest number of obese children in the world after China, while the country is also home to 97 million of the world's moderately or severely underweight children and adolescents. Here's a report.
Notorious for malnutrition, India is now also the land of obesity. A country that had 0.4 million obese men, or 1.3% of the global obese population in 1975. India in 2014 reached 5th position globally with 9.8 million obese men, or 3.7% of the global population. Among women, India has jumped to the 3rd rank with 20 million obese women. Both underweight and obesity are well-known causes of fatality.
Invested adequately in developing a robust health system which can deliver easily accessible and affordable services to everybody. And even the money we have invested, we have not prioritized correctly in terms of having a strong primary healthcare system both in rural and urban areas.
However, India's hunger situation is worsening, with the country slipping from 97th spot in 2016 to 100th position in the latest global hunger list. India is also home to 97 million of 192 million of the world's moderately or severely underweight children and adolescents. 22.7% of girls and 30.7% of boys in India were moderately or severely underweight in 2016, as compared to 24.4% and 39.3% underweight in 1975.
First thing is early registration of pregnancy, identification of high-risk pregnancies. Then if you monitor the weight gain of the mother over the period of pregnancy, if your child is to be 3 kilos or 2.5 kilos, your mother has to gain at least 5 kilos or 6 kilos during. Now, if you find an average mother, she is gaining 2 kilos, 2.5 kilos, so you can clearly identify which are the more vulnerable mothers who are likely to be. And a preventive strategy, as I said, is much better, it is cheaper, it is more focused.
Obesity is on the rise because of the sedentary lifestyle, unhealthy diet and eating habits that are becoming increasingly common among urban youngsters. Obesity causes serious health problems. Undernutrition, on the other hand, is increasing the risk factor for death in children under the age of 5. This double burden of providing healthy and balanced nutrition to people is also seen in other middle-income developing countries. The stark nutritional divide is yet another indicator of the unequal growth and development across the country. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
International Newsline. Afghan officials say that the Taliban have carried out 2 suicide car bombings at an army camp in the southern Kandahar province. Khalid Pashtun, a member of the parliament from the province, says that at least 41 soldiers have been killed in the attack, which began yesterday. Defense Ministry spokesperson Daulat Waziri has confirmed the attack but declined to comment on the number of casualties. The Taliban have claimed the attack in a media statement, though. This attack comes just days after 71 people were killed in a series of attacks by the Taliban in Paktia and Ghazni provinces. Afghan forces have struggled to combat a resurgent Taliban since the US and NATO forces formally concluded their combat mission at the end of 2014. The US has described India as a reliable partner at the world stage, while terming China a predatory rule breaker. The statements were made by US Secretary of State Rex Tillerson in a major India policy speech, the first by the Trump administration. The speech made an unflattering comparison between the ways India and China have progressed over the past 2 decades and sent a strong signal to side with India amidst China's provocative actions in the region. Tillerson rebuked China for subverting the global order, undermining the sovereignty of its neighbors, and for being an irresponsible international actor prone to predatory economic policies. Asserting that in this period of uncertainty and angst, Tillerson said that India and the US are partners with their shared values and vision for global stability, peace and prosperity. He added that India and the US can be the voice the world needs them to be, standing firm in defense of a rules-based order. Tillerson's speech comes as he is to visit South Asia next week, including India and Pakistan. It also comes less than a month before US President Donald Trump is due to make his first state visit to China.
China's provocative actions in the South China Sea directly challenge the international law and norms that the United States and India both stand for. The United States seeks constructive relations with China, but we will not shrink from China's challenges to the rules-based order, and where China subverts the sovereignty of neighboring countries and disadvantages the U.S. and our friends. In this period of uncertainty and somewhat angst, India needs a reliable partner on the world stage. I want to make clear, with our shared values and vision for global stability, peace, and prosperity, the United States is that partner.
Meanwhile, China's economic growth slowed down marginally in the latest quarter, although experts say that it matched expectations. Chinese government data released on Thursday showed the world's second-largest economy grew at 6.8% annual pace in the 3 months ending in September, down from the previous quarter's 6.9%.
A day after Chinese President Xi Jinping's big promises for the country's economic future, China reported growth data that's lower than the second quarter's 6.9% expansion. China's third quarter GDP growth was estimated to be 6.8% compared to the same period last year. The data follows government's efforts to cool the property market and cut debt risks.
初步核算，前3季度国内生产总值按可比价格计算，同比增长6.9%，增速与上半年持平，比上年同期加快0.2个百分点。分产业看，第一产业增长3.7%，第二产业增长6.3%，第三产业增长7.8%。
China's National Statistics Bureau painted a steady but positive economic development in the first 3 quarters. It also highlighted challenges in a complex international environment amid structural changes domestically. On Monday, the People's Bank of China said the world's second-largest economy is likely to post growth of 7% in the second half of the year, thanks to rapid household spending.
3季度国内生产总值同比增长6.8%。 经济连续9个季度运行在6.7%到6.9%的区间，保持中高速增长。
Other countries have always expressed skepticism about the veracity of China's GDP reports. Chinese President Xi Jinping had said on Wednesday that the world's second-largest economy will move from high-speed to high-quality growth as it pushes ahead with reforms. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The United States has once again accused Iran of violating several UNSC resolutions, saying that it would no longer turn a blind eye to it. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Nikki Haley also alleged that the UN Security Council was being played by Iran. In a Security Council session that was due to be devoted to the Israeli-Palestinian deadlock, Haley ranged further in the Middle East, accusing Tehran of fomenting terrorism in Lebanon and Yemen, firing ballistic missiles counter to the spirit of the historic nuclear deal, imprisoning foreign journalists and tourists, and allowing Iranian leaders to travel in violation of UN Security Council resolutions. She questioned the UNSC on why there was no outrage over Tehran's behavior.
When a rogue regime starts down the path of ballistic missiles, it tells us that we will soon have another North Korea on our hands. If it is wrong for North Korea to do this, why doesn't that same mentality apply to Iran? With our decision to take a comprehensive approach to confronting the Iranian regime, the United States will not turn a blind eye to these violations. We have made it clear that the regime cannot have it both ways. It cannot consistently violate international law and still be considered a fit and trusted member of the international community.
And here are more updates from across the world in Global Buzz. A suspect in shootings in Maryland and Delaware in the U.S. that left 3 people dead and 3 others injured was caught in Delaware after a manhunt. The 37-year-old is accused of killing 3 people and wounding 2 others at his job in Maryland on Wednesday. Police say that he shot a 6th person about 2 hours later, and this wasn't a random act of violence. A new law in Canada's Quebec province has banned face coverings for people giving or receiving provincial government services. This comes amid criticism that Muslim women are being marginalized. While the law, which takes effect by the 1st of July 2018, does not specify which face coverings are prohibited, the debate has largely focused on the niqab, worn by some Muslim women, which covers everything but the eyes. People affected by the law would include public sector employees such as teachers, police officers, hospital and daycare workers. British Prime Minister Theresa May has vowed to make it easy as possible for EU citizens to remain in the UK after Brexit, ahead of a key summit of European leaders. The October summit will see a gathering of the 27 heads of government, which could declare themselves satisfied with the Brexit divorce negotiations and agree to start talking about trade. However, the chairman of the European Union leaders, Donald Tusk, has said that he did not expect any breakthrough in talks on the terms of Britain's exit. And now let's take you through some updates from the world of sports in Sports Beat. In badminton, ace shuttler Saina Nehwal knocked out Spain's Olympic champion Carolina Marin in women's singles competition of the Denmark Open badminton tournament at Odense. Saina defeated Marin in straight sets 22-20, 21-18. In the men's singles, K. Srikanth and H.S. Pranoy also advanced to the second round of the tournament. While world number 8 Srikanth defeated compatriot Shubhakar De 21-17, 21-15. Pranoy defeated Denmark's Emil Holst 21-18, 21-19. Ghana entered the quarterfinals of the ongoing FIFA Under-17 World Cup at DT Patil Stadium in Navi Mumbai on Wednesday. Ghana defeated Niger 2-0 in the penultimate round fixture. Ghana will face Mali in the quarterfinals on Saturday, while the US will face England in Goa. Spain will take on Iran in Kochi on Sunday, and Germany will take on Brazil. Lionel Messi joined the exclusive 100-goal club in European competitions as Barcelona defeated Olympiacos 3-1 on Wednesday. Dimitros Nikolaou scored the opener in the 18th minute to give Barca the lead against Olympiacos. Messi then scored the second goal from a free kick in the 61st minute to extend Barca's lead. Nikolaou then scored his second goal of the match in the 89th minute by converting a corner kick into a goal. That's all we have for you on the Bulletin. Thank you so much for joining us.